Your grandmother knew something you don't know. She could take a piece of land and turn it into food for the whole family. She could take scraps and make a meal that fed 10 people. She could raise children, run a household, contribute to the community, and do it all without the stress and anxiety that's crippling your generation. Your grandfather could build a house with his hands. He could fix almost anything that broke, could provide for his family without needing three jobs. They had wisdom, practical, powerful knowledge that allowed them to not just survive, but thrive with a fraction of what you have today. But this generation, you've forgotten it all, and that forgetting is costing you everything. So today, we're going back, we're remembering, we're reclaiming what was lost. Let me show you what your elders understood that you don't. First, they knew how to grow food. Your grandmother didn't go to the supermarket for everything. She had a yard, a garden. She grew callaloo, tomatoes, peppers, herbs. She knew which plants grew well together, which ones needed more sun, which ones to plant when. And because of that knowledge, she could feed her family. She wasn't dependent on imported food with inflated prices. She wasn't worried about supply chain issues or shortages. She had food security, something most of you don't have despite having more money than she ever did. They knew how to build and fix things. Your grandfather didn't call a repairman every time something broke. He fixed it. He understood how things worked. He had skills with his hands. He could build furniture, repair a roof, fix plumbing, do electrical work, construct an entire house if he needed to. And because of that knowledge, he wasn't dependent on paying someone else for every little thing. He had self-sufficiency. He had capability. They knew how to make something from nothing. Your elders grew up with less, way less, but they didn't sit around complaining about what they didn't have. They made do with what they did have. Scraps became meals. Old clothes became new clothes with a needle and a thread. Broken things became fixed things. Nothing was wasted because waste meant loss. They were resourceful in ways this generation can't even imagine. Because you've been taught to just buy everything new instead of repairing, repurposing, and creating. They knew how to build community. Your elders didn't live isolated lives. They knew their neighbors. They helped each other. If someone needed help building a house, the community showed up. If someone was sick, the community took care of them. If someone had a problem, the community solved it together. They had partner systems, community savings, shared labor, collective support. They understood something you forgot. Community is wealth. Community is security. Community is power. They knew how to raise children without losing their minds. Your grandmother raised 5, 6, 7 children, and she did it without all the parenting books, therapy sessions, and constant anxiety that parents today have with one child. How? That's because the community raised children. It wasn't just on one or two parents. The whole village was involved. Children learned from everyone. They were disciplined by everyone and protected by everyone. And children grew up connected. They grew up capable and whole. Your grandparents knew how to live simply. Your elders didn't need much to be content. They found joy in simple things: family, food, music, community, and connection to the land. They weren't chasing endless consumption. They weren't trying to keep up with anyone. They weren't measuring their worth by what they owned. They lived richly with very little, and they were happier than most of you are with all your stuff. Now let's talk about what you lost when you forgot what the elders knew. You lost food security. Most Jamaicans today can't grow a single thing. They depend entirely on supermarkets, imported foods, on systems they don't control. And when prices go up, they suffer. When supply chains break down, they panic. When shortages happen, they struggle. Your grandmother never had that problem because she could feed herself. You can't. You lost self-sufficiency. You can't fix anything. You can't build anything. You can't create anything with your hands. Something breaks, you have to pay someone to fix it. You need furniture, you have to buy it. You want something built, you have to hire someone. You're dependent on other people for the basic things your grandfather could do himself. And that dependency makes you weak. It makes you vulnerable. It makes you broke. You lost resourcefulness. This generation wastes everything. Food thrown away instead of finding a way to use it. Clothes get a small tear and you toss them instead of repairing them. Things break and you buy new ones instead of fixing old. You consume and consume and consume and throw away and you wonder why you're always broke. Your elders knew waste is poverty, resourcefulness is wealth. But you forgot that lesson. You lost community. You don't know your neighbors. You don't help each other. You don't trust each other. You live isolated, separate, and alone. And when you have a problem, you're on your own. There's no community to call on, no network to support you, no collective power to back you up. You're weak because you're isolated. Your elders were strong because they were connected. You lost the ability to raise healthy children. Parents today are stressed, anxious, overwhelmed, trying to do it all alone. And children are growing up more anxious, more disconnected, more lost than any generation before them. Why? You forgot the old ways of raising children connected to elders, to nature, to purpose. You lost contentment. This generation is miserable despite having more than any generation before. More stuff, more access, more opportunities. But you're not happy. You're chasing, always wanting more, never satisfied, never at peace. Your elders had less and were more content because they understood something you don't. Enough is enough. Joy doesn't come from accumulation. It comes from connection. So how did this happen? How did an entire generation forget the wisdom of their elders? You were taught that the old ways are backwards. That's one. The education system, the media, the culture, all of it told you that what your grandparents knew was primitive, old-fashioned, and irrelevant. That's the old way. We're modern now. We don't need to know how to grow food. We don't need to know how to build things. We have technology. We have systems. And you believed it. You looked down on your elders' knowledge instead of recognizing it as wisdom. You were sold dependency. The system profits from you not knowing how to do things yourself. If you can't grow food, you buy it. If you can't fix things, you pay for repairs. If you can't build, you hire builders. Every skill you don't have is money in someone else's pocket. So they taught you to be consumers, not creators. To be dependent, not self-sufficient. And you didn't question it. You just accepted that this is how modern life works. You stopped listening to elders. In traditional societies, elders are respected. Their wisdom is valued. Their knowledge is passed down with reverence. But in this generation, elders are ignored. They're dismissed. They're put in homes and forgotten about. Their knowledge dies with them because nobody bothered to learn from them while they were here. You're too busy on your phones, too caught up in your own world, too convinced you already know everything because you have Google. But Google can't teach you what your grandmother knows. It can't give you the wisdom that only comes from living. You were disconnected from the land. Your elders lived close to the land. They worked it. They understood it. They respected it. They drew strength and sustenance from it. But you live in concrete, disconnected from nature, disconnected from the source of life. And that disconnection cost you the knowledge of how to work with the land, how to grow, how to sustain, and how to survive independently. So, how do you get it back? How do you reclaim the wisdom before it's completely lost? First, you talk to your elders while they're still alive. Sit with your grandmother. Sit with your grandfather. Sit with the old people in your community and ask them things. How did you grow food? How did you make it? How did you fix that? How did you raise children? How did you build community? How did you survive? Record the conversations. Write it down. Video it. Because once they're gone, that knowledge is gone and you can't Google what was never written down. You need to learn the skills they had. Start growing something. Even if it's just herbs in a pot. Learn what it takes to make food grow. Learn to appreciate what your grandmother knew. Learn to fix things. YouTube can teach you basics. Your grandfather can teach you the rest. Start building capability with your hands. Learn to cook from scratch. Learn to sew. Learn to build. Learn the practical skills that make you self-sufficient. You need to rebuild community. Start with your street. Start with your neighborhood. Get to know people. Help each other. Share resources. Create the support systems your elders had. You don't need to wait for everyone. Start with a few people. Build from there. Create the village your children need. You need to reconnect with the land. Even if you live in the city, find ways to connect. There's community gardens, small plots, weekend trips to the country. Get your hands in soil. Understand where food comes from. And respect the earth that sustains you. You need to teach your children the old ways. Don't let the wisdom die with you. Pass it down. Teach your children to grow, to build, to fix, to be resourceful, to value community, to respect elders. Give them the foundation your elders gave you, so they're not as lost as this generation is. And you need to combine old wisdom with new knowledge. This isn't about rejecting technology or modern advances. It's about combining the best of both. Use your smartphone to record your grandmother's recipes. Use the internet to learn traditional farming methods. Use modern tools to practice old skills. The goal isn't to go backwards. It's actually to move forward with a foundation. Your elders knew things you desperately need to know right now. How to be self-sufficient in a world that wants you dependent. How to be connected in a world that isolates you. How to be content in a world that tells you you're never enough. And how to survive and thrive with less. That wisdom is still available, but it's fading fast. The generation that holds it is dying. And if you don't act now, if you don't humble yourself and learn before it's too late, it will be lost forever. And you'll be left trying to survive in a world that's falling apart with none of the skills you need. While your elders, if they were still here, would know exactly what to do. So go, talk to them, learn from them, record them, honor them, and apply what they teach you. Because what they know isn't just history, it's your survival. Your elders are waiting to teach you. Are you ready to learn?